It is Thursday, December 19th, and you're listening to the final 29 edition, 2019 edition of the Boiler Breakdown podcast. I'm Tanner Lee, along with Andrew Eiler and Evan Webb. We're going to be recapping Purdue's 69-51 win over the Ohio Bobcats. We're going to be previewing the CrossRoads Classic, recapping National Signing Day for the Boilermaker football team yesterday, and much, much more. What's going on, guys?
Not too much.
Good deal. Glad to have everybody present for the last 2019 edition, which is brought to you by Schroff Landscaping Nurseries. For all your landscaping needs, contact Schroff Landscaping at 574-223-2769. I know at least in Indiana, maybe not everywhere where all of our listeners and viewers are. They might be down south where it's warm. I'm jealous if so, but Indiana, it's a little too cold this time of year to do some landscaping. But you can think ahead, think in 2020. Maybe your relatives are planning on doing some landscaping next year. Contact Schroff Landscaping. Maybe you can get them a nice early Christmas present for next year. So we appreciate their sponsorship of the Boiler Breakdown podcast. Well, fellas, if you were like me, you were not looking forward to Tuesday night's basketball game. This was a matchup I was petrified of since I saw the schedule come out.
Yep. Let alone before we lose Nebraska.
Speaking of that game, that tape is burnt. It's sent to the moon. We're never speaking of that Nebraska game ever again. But interesting to note, this was Matt Painter's, I believe this was his team's, I'm going to mess this up now. It's either 7 and 12 years or 12th time going to a mid-major on the road in his career.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, I know they've went to
at Purdue.
They went to Loyola Chicago and lost in like his first year. They went to Indiana State and lost.
I don't remember that.
I believe they went to Evansville and lost.
Yeah.
They went to Ball State and won. They went to Ohio and won. They went to Eastern Michigan and lost. That might have been it. So maybe it was 7. Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember a lot.
Heard that on the Dan Dockett show on his interview. So, yeah. But this was one of those games that was made because it was part of a home and home with the football and basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
The football game from 2017, the night game, the Friday night game. Then we played Ohio at Mackey last year. So return the favor going to Athens. At least it was Christmas break and their students weren't there.
Yeah.
Their attendance made Penn State home game look pretty packed, in my opinion.
That's what I was going to bring up, Tan, because I know you said that you were worried about this game. I know people had it just because, it's a Big Ten 9 p.m. game. I mean, Ohio doesn't get a Big Ten team that, Purdue was preseason ranked, not anymore, but
I think it was their first Big Ten team to come in since like 2001.
It was. They beat Wisconsin there in 2001 by a point.
So, I thought for sure it was going to be kind of a big game for their fans.
Yeah, exactly.
You would think.
Nobody there.
Yeah, nobody there at all.
Yeah, their arena was a lot bigger than I was expecting for a MAC school. I know it was kind of structured a lot like Mackey Arena, which is pretty cool, but it was a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's really big. It looks like a nice arena for a MAC school.
Yeah.
And I didn't think Ohio was a bad team. They're a pretty good shooting team. They got a guard that averaged 16 points per game.
Preston.
Yeah, one of the best shooters in MAC history.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Purdue did a good job on him. It was the other kid that got going. It was the other kid that got going for him for a while there. I know at halftime, I knew they were going to make a run second half, but I thought they'd cut it to like 10 or 12. I never thought they'd get clear down to 6.
6, yeah.
Were you guys a little nervous then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you had to be.
I was about ready to go to bed.
Did you turn the game off, Andrew?
No.
I know you threatened to turn it off like 8 minutes into it, so I didn't know if you made it all the way in or not.
I did. I just did other things to not throw something at my TV or something like that.
After that Marquette game, was very nervous that once they got down to 10, I was like, oh man, they're going to get this thing down even further. I wasn't sure if they were going to take the lead, but I was like, they're going to get pretty freaking close.
Yeah, you just knew it was coming. They weren't shooting well in the first half, and then they started making some wide open threes. But then that kid for Ohio took the off-balance heat check, like hit the guy in the back. That killed their momentum. That was huge. Looking back on it, I don't know why he shot that ball.
I think it was just one of those things. He got as soon as he got that ball in the corner, I was like, he's gonna shoot that, and it was one of those off-balance threes that you take at the end of a shot clock or game clock situation. And
Jordan Darktis is who I've been talking about.
Yeah,
I remember his name. He had 16 points.
He got hot there real quick in the second half.
He shot 15 times, made 6, but he's 3 for 9 for threes, but they were pretty much consecutive threes.
Preston really had tall kid too. I can't remember his name. Really tall, skinny guy. He had 12 points, 4 of 8 shooting. Preston played all 40 minutes. He had 10 rebounds, but he was limited to 2 of 8 shooting. So I want to say he was averaging like 16 points a game coming into the game, and I thought Eric Hunter did a great job.
Oh, Eric Hunter had a career game. 39 minutes played, career high 18 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 4 for 5 from behind the arc. Is he Purdue's most steady player right now?
Yes,
he's definitely the most improved. I don't know. Proctor's kind of right there too. I mean, Proctor's pretty consistent as well, but that's about it, I think.
I'm leaning towards Proctor, but I just feel like Hunter's been more consistent because I feel like Proctor has disappeared a couple times. I feel like I'm trying to not really talk about the Nebraska game, but I don't remember. Well, no one did well in that game, so I don't even know why I'm going to talk about it. But I feel like Proctor a couple times has kind of disappeared a little bit when I would like to see him step up. But I think I would have to agree, Tanner. I think Hunter is our most consistent as of right now.
Yeah, I love his mid-range game. He's got that nice, almost like a Dirk Nowitzki type one leg fade away, but he nails it. I like that move, and he's aggressive. He's got a lot more aggressive here. Speaking of aggressive, it was nice to see Nojel Eastern finally kind of get some confidence going and be aggressive. Yeah. 11 points on 5 of 7 shooting. He was 1 of 5 from the free throw line, so he's now 1 for 11 on the season from the free throw line. His form just is not consistent. Sometimes it looks okay. Other times it just looks horrendous. Sometimes he takes more time than other. He's not consistent at all from the line.
Where's the manager who rebounded with him all last year?
He graduated.
Bring him back.
Yeah, he's a grad assistant.
But I mean, Nojel being aggressive can take this team to another level. I mean, that dunk he threw down. Oh my Lanta!
Yeah,
it was a grown man dunk.
Yeah, it was. And hopefully this was his coming out game like Belmont last year. But Belmont, he hit like 9 of 9 free throws. They kept doing hacking Nojel, and it was biting them at the end. So.
Yeah, that was already on his run when he shot like 80% from the free throw line.
Thought he played well. I thought Travion Williams, for the most part, played well, had his moments. He had 14 points in 20 minutes, 6-11 shooting. But my big thing was he had 5 turnovers and 4 personal fouls.
Yeah, defensively, he's kind of not having arms to kind of either help him out if they're playing both or to kind of keep him fresh, I guess. And then he gets turnover prone, fouls a lot. I don't know. He's kind of a defensive liability at this point.
Just so slow on the end. Sometimes it looks like he doesn't even want to get engaged on the defensive end.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple times though where he had some really good effort plays on defense. I mean, I know it wasn't as many as we'd like to see, but I thought it was definitely a better game all around for the most part.
I don't think he's not trying. I think it's just literally just foot speed kind of. I mean, he's a big guy, and part of why he does so well on offense. And I mean, he's really athletic for being
270 pounds.
Yeah, 280 pounds. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty incredible what he can do. It's just when you're going up against a guy who's 60 pounds lighter than you, I mean, he's going to be quick.
Yeah. I can talk. I was expecting to see DeWona, but we didn't see him at all. I guess it kind of shows that
he's ready.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they will be ready. I don't know if we'll ever see him play a lot of minutes at Purdue. I could be wrong. He's only a redshirt freshman, but
yeah,
I don't know.
He hadn't played much basketball before.
No, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, but still, I think if it was going to happen, I mean, even just as for 5 or 10 minutes to give Williams a break and maybe going and get some rebounds, it would have been on Tuesday night. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
yeah.
The other Boilermaker in double-digit scoring was Jihad Proctor. He had 12 points in 36 minutes. He was 3 from 8 from the field, but he's 4 for 4 from the line. I do trust him from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much all the scoring came from the starters.
Mm-hmm.
Sasa Stevanovic had 4 points. He was 1 for 4, over 3 for threes. He just inconsistent. He just still needs to work on his passing a little bit. Evan Boudreau, 4 points, 4 rebounds in 18 minutes of action, 2 for 5 from the floor. I thought he played okay.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Wheeler, 2 points in 14 minutes. Didn't see a lot of run. 1 for 3 from the floor. His confidence just isn't there. I mean, he did have a tip in at one point when Ohio was on a run that helped Purdue.
Mm-hmm. That was big.
Isaiah Thompson, 4 points in 12 minutes, 1 for 4 shooting, 1 for 3 for 3-point range. So.
Yeah, this was a game that I thought Wheeler's athleticism would have really. I thought he could have definitely his athleticism was a huge advantage compared to a team like this, and I was really hoping that that it would be this kind of game would, if he can get a couple good, some good run in, that he would boost his confidence. But yeah, I remember watching the second half and I was like, we're halfway through this half and I haven't even seen him touch the floor yet.
No, they haven't played him for a while. So I don't know. He's definitely still been disappointing till now, but maybe Saturday's his breakout game. I don't know.
What's happened with his shot?
I just think his confidence issue.
Yeah, I think it's just
he's definitely not getting as many wide open looks as last year, and I think Carson got him a lot of wide open looks last year by driving and dishing.
Yeah.
Now he's just not getting those. He kind of has to work more for his shot.
But I mean, so he's shooting 25% from the field, 23%.
He's not driving as much.
No.
He's just not the same player right now. It's really disappointing. But a lot of season left. Hopefully he breaks out of it because Purdue's going to need him sooner or later.
Yep.
We need him
and Nojel to play well for this team to,
especially with Harms out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for how good Nojel and Wheeler can be on defense, if they can, get back to just being aggressive, and if Wheeler can start hitting shots, it'd be help the offense significantly.
Yep.
Which has been the problem. The defense hasn't been, but
yep. Purdue's now got a 7-4 record heading into all of our favorites event coming up Saturday. I very sarcastic on that. The CrossRoads Classic.
It might be Andrews.
It might be Andrews.
Wins.
Every other year it is. Not this year.
For everybody watching and listening who has not viewed or listened to our podcast before, Andrew is a Purdue fan, but yet also a Butler fan because that's where he attended school. So he's a Butler alum. So this is a tough matchup for him whenever it comes around every 2 years. But according to the message boards, Andrew, this might be the last year you have to worry about Purdue and Butler facing each other in this tournament. It sounds like this tournament might be ending after 2020 next year.
Well, Butler will just have to send IU out with a loss like they've done. So that would be I'd be okay ending like that.
Yeah, Purdue's 2-6 all time in the CrossRoads. Their 2 wins coming in 2016 and 17 back-to-back years. They were down big to Notre Dame in 16.5, came back and won, beat Butler in 17, and then they faced Butler later on in the second round of the NCAA tournament and beat them again. But of course, teams are way different 2 years later down the road than they were. Purdue just doesn't usually play well in this event, but it's usually the event after the finals week. We'll see if that affects things since they are not in finals and IU, Notre Dame, and Butler are. We'll see. I've just never, I liked the idea of it, but it's had a good run. After this year, next year, that'll be 10 years. That's a pretty good run for an event like this. Maybe it's time to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like Indiana wants out. I know they want to get in that thing with Ohio State, UCLA, Carolina, and Kentucky. I think Ohio State might be getting out of that.
So like the CBS, yeah.
This weekend, that Champions Classic.
Yeah,
so I think they want
I would love to see IU just get wiped off the court in that.
Mm-hmm. And that way they could play Kentucky every few years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wouldn't mind Purdue playing down in Indianapolis every once in a while. I would love a home and home with Notre Dame or Butler, or even an opportunity to play them either place in the ACC Big Ten Challenge or the GAVA games. I think that'd be really neat. And maybe
that would be cool. I think Purdue, even if the event does, and I think something will continue. It may not be the same 4 teams, but I bet Purdue, like you said, will stay around Indy. I mean, before the CrossRoads Classics, maybe way before, I remember coming for like the Wooden Classic when it was like Purdue would Valpo or IUPUI or some other Indiana team. Now there's like the Wooden tradition, or there was like a Wooden tradition a few years ago. But.
Yeah. And especially the years the Big Ten tournament's held at Bankers Life, it'd be nice to get there, get some, just get used to their surroundings a little bit a couple months ahead of time. So, but Andrew, help us out here with the matchup. I can be honest, I haven't watched a ton of Butler this year. I know they're pretty darn good. They're ranked 17th. They've only lost 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a heartbreaker at Baylor.
Yeah.
They beat a good Florida team. They had a win against Stanford. Stanford's only lost. So fill us in about Butler a little bit and what we can expect from the Bulldogs.
Somewhat similar, I think, to Purdue. They're playing really good defense right now. This is by far so this is Laval Jordan's third year at Butler. I was not too impressed. I like him a lot. I wanted to like him, but his offense, it just seems very it's been very stagnant and ends up being just kind of Kamar Baldwin driving in the past couple years. But this year they're moving a lot better. Ball movement is a lot better, so they're getting guys open. They got a big transfer who came in, Bryce Enzi. He transferred from UW Milwaukee. He sat out last year. I want to say he's like 6'8", 230 pounds. He's kind of like the 4 or 5, kind of plays down low. I think he could, without harms. I think he's gonna give Travion problems just because he's quick, he's athletic, and he's strong. Not much of a shooter, but just inside 10 feet, he's really good. But yeah, by far Butler's best player, Kamar Baldwin. If he gets hot,
God, it feels like he's been there for a decade. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Say him and Roosevelt. Was it
Roosevelt was Roosevelt.
I feel like he was there for 20 years.
And who was the other guy that just graduated last year? I want to.
Keelan Martin was before.
Yeah, Keelan. That's who. Yeah,
I have guys.
He's 2 years ago. He graduated a couple years ago. Yeah.
AJ Graves still playing from 2004. No, I can't.
No, I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for Purdue defensively. Just with, I don't know. Actually, I think it'll be interesting just because who guards Kamar Baldwin is very good. He's kind of I think he's like 6'3". He's kind of long lefty that I think Nogel and Hunter will probably switch on and off of and do okay. Starting point guard Aaron Thompson is not much of a scorer or shooter. He will occasionally drive, and he's had games where he'll just, I don't know if it's because, if he doesn't have any jump shot, if he shoots a 3, it's probably not going to hit anything.
So he's going to hit 4 of them on Saturday.
I think I've seen him hit 1 and 2+ seasons.
I see my ball. I'm going to be cussing at you.
He does run the offense very well.
Kind of like Barlow was a couple years ago. Similar kind of, more commander, but
Barlow definitely a better shooter.
Yeah,
Barlow by his senior year was a good shooter.
Alex Barlow.
We're not talking about Kelsey.
I need to clarify that.
Yeah, I wanted to look it up. So Aaron Thompson's averaging 6.5 assists a game, 8 points, but he's shooting 14% from 3. So he's not.
They have Rick Smith's kid now, right? He transferred from Valpo.
Yes. So that's the other one. Derek Smith came from Valpo. He's only played in 1 game against Southern last week. I think he's had some knee injuries. He's kind of coming back from. He played like 10 minutes in that game. I don't know if that was just to kind of get his feet wet. I don't expect to see him much. He might come play a little bit, but it'll be primarily Bryce Golden, who's a sophomore from I don't know, Pittsburgh, maybe. I think it's from Pennsylvania or something like that. Who's kind of like a 6'10". kind of like Joey Brunk was last year. I think he's a little better. I think he's a little quicker, a little better athlete. I think he's got more potential. Just a good rebounder. But the offense is going to run through Kamar Baldwin, Sean McDermott. Jordan Tucker was a high 4-star, came in, transferred from Duke a couple years ago. I like him a lot. I think he can get hot. He looks like he's a really good shooter, but he's kind of like Wheeler. I think that he just kind of gets lost in the flow sometimes and hasn't had that much this year. He's had a couple games where he's gotten hot, but I thought he'd kind of be a little bigger contributor this year than he's been. But it'll be interesting because it'll be a good kind of guards test. I don't know, but I kind of worry about Travion on defense without Harms because I think Golden and Enzi are definitely quicker.
Well, I wish Purdue had Harms, especially if Smits plays, because then Purdue could have some size in there to go up against Smits, and you would have the son of the Flying Dutchman against the new Flying Dutchman. So,
yeah.
But I from the sounds of it, I wouldn't count on Matt Harms playing Saturday. So.
No, and it was pretty hard fall.
Oh, yeah. I hope it doesn't affect the way he plays going forward. I hope he's not scared to leave his feet. I don't know. I don't know what goes through people's heads after injuries like that. I have no idea. I mean, you just got to trust yourself again, I guess. So, but I think he'll be okay. But
so, do you think no gel guards McDermott or?
I
think that's a Hunter job at least from the start.
I bet you're right. McDermott's taller, a little longer, so I bet no gel probably does. But maybe not because Kamar is kind of the primary ball.
Yeah.
McDermott doesn't drive that much. He comes off a lot of screens, kind of a little bit like what Purdue did with Ryan Klein the past year. He's a really good catch and shoot. He will dribble a little bit, but he's not going to blow by anybody. You guys remember Kellen Dunham? He's very similar to Kellen.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not as good of a shooter at this point, but probably going to be a very similar. Doesn't need a whole lot of space to get it up, and he's been really good this year.
It'll be interesting for sure. It's the varsity game at 2:30 at the Big Ten Network. The JV game's at noon, but it's on ESPN. And Purdue really needs to root for, of course, like always, for Notre Dame to win to get IU fans, at least some of them, out of there because it's usually 90% filled with crimson and cream, and they will root for Butler really hard. So
that was their team in 2010 and 2011, 2012 when their first basketball program was in the toilet.
A lot of reversible will be in the house on Saturday. Both gear, Notre Dame and IU gear.
My freshman year I think that was the first year of the CrossRoads, and Butler played IU, and I remember sitting in the student section all the way at the very top of Banker's Life and Barlow, and I think Barlow, it might have been sophomore. I don't remember.
Second year of the CrossRoads. Purdue lost a heartbreaker to Butler the first year. Blew like a 19 point.
So then sophomore year, I think Barlow hit like a floater to beat when IU was number one.
Yeah, that was our sophomore year, Andrew.
Overtime. And Rodney Clark had gone insane to keep Butler in it, and that was probably the most fun I've had. Like the 15 minutes that it took me to get down from the very top of Banker's Life, it was just the most fun. Just ripping all of the IU fans, and it was so much fun. They were so bitter; it was awesome.
Yep, should be fun. We'll see. Big game for both teams.
You going, Andrew?
I will be there. You guys going?
No. I have third year.
I've been once.
I hate it.
Oh man,
I love the idea. No, I've been once. Just kidding. I've been once. I think that was it might have been 2013. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time I went. Was 2013.
It's one I like. It's one I like to go. It's a fun event. It's cool. I'd be kind of sad if it ends, but I get it. But this one usually, every other year. So the odd years, I usually sit pretty quietly with my arms crossed the entire game, and
we won't tell your wife.
Yeah.
And don't react. Yep.
Yeah, but I remember a couple of years ago. I don't know which year it was. I was watching it at my parents' house because I was still living with them at the time, and they were at the game. I flipped over a footstool. I don't remember what year it was. I got so mad. I think it was when Butler was our first loss of the year. think it was in 2015.
15. That was my last
didn't have a good game, and
yeah,
I was just.
Yeah. I think we were number 9 because I was watching that game actually at Harry's, and it was because I was right before graduation.
I did that the year before at Chumley's and just watched Notre Dame murder us, just kill us. I remember it was just we lost by like 30 or 35. It was awful. Yeah, fun times, man. God dang.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Purdue basketball over Crossroads before we get into a little football talk?
Just hopefully, I didn't really think about the fact that this isn't during finals week for us. I'm hoping that we kind of have that finals week hangover behind us. If we come out and play with the same energy that we did against Ohio, not Iowa, I feel like we got a good chance. If Nogel plays that with that aggressiveness, I like what this team can do.
Yep, well said. Yeah, 2019.
All I'm going to say is just everybody come out healthy.
Fair enough. That's I guess we don't want to wish injury on anybody on Butler. So, the 2019 National Signing Day for football was yesterday. I think they got now. They can sign any time now, right?
I think they have like a week.
A week.
Yeah, I think it's again like in February.
Yeah, I knew it was in February. Purdue signed everybody they thought. Yep. There was no surprises on their end of not getting somebody they thought yesterday. They did have a few decommitments in the last week or so, but I think they made up for them. To be honest, I will go through the list real quick. I'm probably going to botch a bunch of names here. But first off,
before, so
that doesn't help me. First off, the one we were practicing before we started, 4-star wide receiver commit that flipped from Northwestern. Abdur. help.
Rahman. Abdur. Was that Rahman?
No.
Rahman. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Rahman. Yeah.
Yassin is his last name.
Abdur Rahman, yeah.
Abdur Rahman Yassin, yes. He's a 4-star wide receiver from Michigan, 6'2", 180 pounds. His film looks a lot like
Northwestern doing with a recruit like that.
I don't know. That's a great question. Purdue was his first offer 2 years ago, so and wide receiver coach Jamarcus Shepard kept in contact with him just because, and then he decided Purdue was his best fit. Jeff Brom brought him up specifically on not only his radio show, but his press conference yesterday, said he will have an opportunity to see the field early. So that's exciting. And
which is crazy.
He also brought up 3 other wide receivers, Malik Carr, which is kind of the headliner of the class, 6'5", 215-pound 4-star wide receiver from Oak Park, Michigan, chose Purdue over Georgia among a lot of other offers. He's also going to walk on to the basketball team. I look for him to play right away. Could he be the next Big Ten freshman of the year like Rondell Moore and David Bell the last 2 years? Who knows? Marcellus Moore from Plainfield, Illinois. He's 5'8", 165 pounds, but he's a 2, if not a 3-time state champion in the 100-meter. Jeff Brom called him the fastest player in the country during his press conference, and his tape looks like it. Very excited to see him get on the field. Very excited to see the possibility of maybe him returning some kicks and punts. And then Colin Sullivan, which I feel like he's not talked about as much as he should be. 3-star from Round Rock, Texas, 6'1", 195. I really liked what I saw on the tape of him. So, man, Purdue has an abundance of riches in the wide receiver room. Holy cow. Add this with Rondell Moore, David Bell, Milton Wright, TJ Sheffield, Rice, Jared Sparks, Jackson Anthrop.
Corey, and then you got guys before them, Ahmad Anderson,
and
Corey Taylor, other guys that were pretty highly recruited the last 2 years,
And I'm glad you brought Corey Taylor up because we got a question about him.
Almost like it was planned.
This is from Skip, and I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong. Skip Leitchmeyer. He asked, well, a 6'5" wide receiver, Corey Taylor, will he be pushed into the tight end to grow into that position since wide receivers recruits are being brought in? That's a great question.
Great question. Didn't have a tight end recruit in this class, which didn't really need because we've got three freshmen. We've got 2 freshmen. We've got Miller and Bilodeau, and then you've also got obviously Payne Durham. So didn't think about that, but it would make sense. I mean, I think you're going to hit the tight end recruiting hard in 2021 just to kind of bridge that gap. But
there's somebody else. There's another one. Isn't like that Treader or something like that was another tight end from a couple years ago. I think he's a little. I don't know if I think he's more of a blocking tight end. I think he's bigger versus the other 3 are pretty good athletes and good receivers.
I did see Purdue's old tight end Darius Pittman end up at Temple.
Yep.
With them.
But I think it makes sense. I mean, I don't know how Taylor's going to see the field. If he didn't see the field this year with the myriad of injuries, can't talk either. I mean, I feel it's going to be one of those conversations where, hey, you're going to be able to find the field or see the field more, have a better chance in this position. So, I guess it might be up to the kid, but. Yeah, I mean, I never thought about that, but that wouldn't be a bad idea, especially in maybe certain packages.
From what I remember when he committed, I think he's pretty fast. I thought he was pretty skinny, so I don't know what he's at now. I think he was like under 200 pounds, so maybe 6'5" might be a lot for him to carry. I mean, he could come up and bulk up and be a way for him to get on the field. Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know. I think. Could find some packages, I'm sure, Brom. If anybody's going to find a way to use a 6'5", I'm sure Brom can do it.
Competition all across the board, but it's hard not to get excited if you're a Purdue fan about the future of the wide receivers. Holy cow.
Can we do a set with Taylor, Malik Carr, David Bell, where we've got 2 or 3 receivers over
that might be a Hail Mary set.
Yeah.
When you need a deep ball. So
yeah.
Some other recruits going down the list. This was a kind of a late commit that flipped from Florida Atlantic. It kind of came about within the last few days before signing day. Anthony Rumpf, I believe, how you pronounce his last name. He is listed as a QB, but Purdue's going to play him, I believe, as a defensive back. He's from Southfield, Michigan, 6 foot, 175-pound 3-star. Once again, I like what I saw on film from him. He was recruited to Florida Atlantic to be a quarterback, but then Purdue found out within the past few weeks that he would be willing to play defensive back. Purdue expressed the need, and he committed. He had offers from Michigan State, Minnesota, some other really good programs. So nice flip there that Purdue got in a position that they need. And they got 2 junior college guys, DeMarcus Mitchell from Summit, Mississippi. He's listed as a defensive end, but why did I think he was going to play linebacker?
Brom compared him to Bentley, so I think they've kind of want him to come in and play kind of middle linebacker. I mean, he's big. I think he's a good athlete.
6'4", 245, 3-star.
Yeah.
And then Javante Howard, defensive back from Kilgore, Texas, 5'11", 185. He's a 3-star as well. I think he was originally going to go to Kansas State. Brom said both those guys should have a chance to start. So that's exciting. Bryce Austin, defensive tackle from Southfield, Michigan. Purdue did a great job going up to the Mitten State and getting, or the Mitten, I guess, and getting a lot of recruits from Michigan. 285, 3-star defensive tackle. So he might be able to play right away. And then Brom really talked highly of the 4 offensive line commits they got. Nayland Fox from Pontiac, Michigan, 6'5", 267, 3-star. You have Gus Hartwig from Zionsville, Indiana, 6'5", 290, 3-star. Jerry DiNardo was raving about him on the Big Ten Network yesterday. Said he has footwork like a ballerina because he moves so well for a guy that's listed at 290. He thought DiNardo thought a 3-star was a low rating for him.
He's going to the All-American game. David Bell and Rondell Moore and George Karloftis and
Bilodeau.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, so he's in good company for recent Purdue recruits. Before Brom, I don't remember Purdue having really anyone.
No. And then they also got Jared Bazinski, offensive lineman from Berea, Ohio, 6'4", 285, 3-star, and Josh Kaltenberger from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 6'4", 285, 3-star. Some bigger boys there, and they're all 3-star, 4 3-star linemen. I'm pretty pleased by that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think they're done yet. I think they're going to look at the junior college ranks for some more help in some positions.
Yeah,
and then,
I think these guys will be. They'll have some time. I think hopefully and not have to play in the next couple of years. And
I could see maybe Hartwig getting a chance to play right away. I know it's tough for a true freshman to come in and play the offensive line, but he's an interior lineman, and Purdue has a need there. So
I think center. I think there's a chance where he might be able to play right away.
Yep. I don't know the health status of Victor Beach going into next year.
Mm-hmm.
So then the other commitments, Purdue got Kydron Jenkins, linebacker from Louisville, Georgia, 6'2", 220, 3-star. Sanasi Kang, defensive back from Blairstown, New Jersey, 6 foot, 190-pound, 3-star. Clyde Washington, linebacker from Medford, New Jersey, 6'3", 212-pound, 3-star. Antonio Stevens, defensive back from Franklin, Tennessee, 6'2", 185-pound, 3-star. Michael Alamo, quarterback from Montville, New Jersey, 6'4", 208-pound, 4-star. Tyreek Murphy, running back from Middle Village, New York, 6 foot, 220-pound, 3-star running back. And then Ben Kroll, linebacker from Wisconsin, 6'3", 218, 3-star. And Greg Hudgens, defensive end from Washington, D.C., 6'4", 226-pound, 4-star. And Ryan Brandt, linebacker from Angola, Indiana, 6'1", 205-pound, 3-star.
It sounds like he might blue shirt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Just like Purdue had 2 guys do this year.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty pleased with this class overall. It's ranked anywhere on the 4 ranking sites from about 24th in the nation to about 29th or 30th. So, yeah, I mean, it's incredible what Brom and his Stafford team compared to Hazel and Hope.
Yeah. And we know he's not done, so.
Nope. I think they'll still look for help at the linebacker position on the JUCO ranks and grad transfers, offensive line, maybe even defensive line. And it still wouldn't shock me if they try to get a veteran quarterback.
Or freshman.
I don't know what's going to happen there. Or Malik Hornsby from Texas, dual threat 4-star quarterback that's going to announce at the Army All-American game. A lot of speculation is he's going to choose Purdue or Baylor. So we'll see there.
Do you think he is signed already, a la David Bell or Rondell Moore, who may not announce until January, but I believe they had either silently committed or even signed?
I know Bell definitely signed because as soon as Bell announced, because usually when the team announced it, that means that they're signed. They announced pretty quickly after Bell announced that he was. So I don't think Moore had signed. I don't think
he had just committed. I don't remember. Yeah. I knew it was they had known for. I mean, obviously Brown was confident, but they had known for a while on him.
Yeah, that's a good question, Andrew. It wouldn't shock me.
Maybe Purdue already knows.
Quarterback situation. I mean, TCU's got a kid out there. Who else to see? I saw Colorado State had a kid open up today.
Stanford's QB's transferring.
Yep. I think he's a grad transfer. Arizona State, I think, has one. Some are grad transfers. Some are actual transfers. I don't know. I don't know because grad transfers probably not going to come to Purdue because they're going to want playing time guaranteed to them. And with Plummer and O'Connell, I don't see that being guaranteed to anybody. So Jeff Brom was asked about his quarterback situation going into the spring. He said, "We'll play who's ready and who can play." So,
I'm pretty comfortable with Plummer and O'Connell. I wouldn't mind another veteran just as competition depth. I mean, he comes in and plays well, and it's somebody who's talented. I mean, then that's great. But if not, and if it's Hornsby, that'd be awesome. I mean, he's a 4-star dual threat athlete coming from Texas who's really highly ranked. But as we were talking about before we started, the 2021 recruiting class is pretty loaded in Indiana, and there's one particular quarterback from Indianapolis that I like.
Yep.
Purdue's in, that would be great. So.
And the reason we bring up the quarterbacks and maybe potential going to get a veteran is it's official that Elijah Sindelar is not coming back for the 6th year. He's already started his job as an engineer at Fiat Chrysler. I listened to a really good interview with him this morning with Jared Justelitis and Kyle Charters on 101.7 The Hammer on their morning drive show, which airs Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. They interviewed him for about 12 minutes. Really good interview. I am convinced after hearing that interview that even if he would have broke his collarbone but not suffered the concussion, that he would be back at Purdue next year. He talked about how much that concussion scared him.
Yeah.
And he said, being an engineer, he needed to use his head. He needs to use his head and brain. He said he could not go to class for about 2 weeks. He said he had to wear sunglasses inside. He couldn't watch TV or look at his phone without his head. That tells you what some of these guys go through with concussions. And he said he felt lucky, though, because it could have been worse. He said some guys get even worse concussions. Some guys never recover from it. But he said that just really woke him up. And then right after the collarbone, he said, my body's just too beat up. I'm ready for life after football. But definitely one of my favorite Boilermakers. One I would have loved to seen healthy because I think he was a special, special talent. Mr. Football in Kentucky. Hell of an arm. His arm.
And then when Brom came, it seemed like a match made in heaven with Sindelar having all the Kentucky records and Brom coming from Kentucky, and it's just all right. He's just have the wide receiver just start running and Sindelar's.
Yep, because he said his plan was to have a good year and enter the NFL draft, and he said he was ready to take that 6th year if he didn't perform to where he thought, or if he got an injury. But he said the concussion just kind of woke him up, and then the collarbone was it. So
sucks that the concussion came most likely on a play that really wasn't all that necessary.
It wasn't. Yep. 3rd and long when the game you're up by 18 or 20 at the time, and on a QB run, and he got hit both sides of the helmet. So because that hurt us in the TCU game without him too.
Yep.
So hats off to number 2, the captain. Wish him the best in his next stage of life. Man, I'm ready for Purdue to go through a season with a healthy quarterback. It's a long time.
Elijah Sindelar question here. Where does his what was it, the last 3 games plus the bowl game down in Florida where does that rank, I guess, on your Purdue fandom with what he did with the team, and then to take them back in that bowl game with the torn ACL to get them to the bowl, win the bowl game, Brom's first year,
to win at Kinnick, to get the bucket back, to go get bowl eligible, and then to beat Arizona, even though we were smacking them, they came back, got the lead, but then to win direct. I'd say that's the top 5 Purdue football moment for me in my lifetime.
Yeah. Watching that bowl game, I think we were traveling for a wedding. We got home for the second half, and that was just incredible. And then it comes out, a day later, he's had a torn ACL a month ago.
Revealed it after the game, and he was the headline of Sports Center that night. I'm thinking, my God, our future is bright. We got ourselves a quarterback the next 2 years, and just couldn't stay healthy. It's really, and he said that was the most fun point of his career was those 3 games, but he said he would not go back and do it again because his knee was in so much pain after every game because he was playing on torn ACL.
Yeah,
that kid was a warrior. I mean, he gave his body for Purdue. So kudos to him.
Yep.
So, any other thoughts on the recruiting class? Anybody you're really anxious to see next year?
I'm just trying to figure out how we're gonna fill these receivers onto the field.
I know it's a lot of Purdue fans. When I was texting with some other guys this week that are Purdue fans, they're like, "Why do we keep getting wide receivers? We don't need any." I'm like, "True, but if a good one wants to come, you don't turn them down. And if this year proved anything, you can't have enough."
Yep.
Because for some reason, the practice field likes to grab our players and hurt them more than the game field does. So.
Yeah. And plus, competition is good, and I think what it makes me comfortable with or more confident is that that Brom and his staff are legitimately connecting with the players and legitimately good recruits. It's not just it's a good system and they're terrible, so I've got a good opportunity to come and play. No, he's got 4 very highly ranked. I mean, 2 of them are 4 stars. Sullivan was a 4-star, and then he got bumped slightly down to 5.
And to be honest, if you're a 3-star in Texas, you're a 4-star in every other state in America.
Yep.
I believe he was a 4-star when he committed. Rivals, he got bumped down slightly, I think, and they said well, who cares? But to have 4 guys, highly ranked, highly recruited guys come in, knowing that you've got Rondell Moore, Big Ten freshman David Bell, all of this coming into a lot of competition. And they don't care. I mean, they want to come because they like Jeff Brown, they like the staff, and I think it's more of, I guess it's more on their good recruiting than early opportunity, like it may have been the first couple years.
I'm honestly probably most excited to see Tyreek Murphy, just to kind of see what. I mean, I think he's the highest rated running back to ever come to Purdue. In terms of rankings, obviously, rankings don't always mean something when you get to college, but I mean, I'll take it. We've seen some good running backs at Purdue, and if he can live up to the hype, then he'll be something special.
Add him with a stable with a second-year King Doru, Horvath.
Yep.
Keep the momentum going from Indiana. Hewitt, even if I don't know how many carries he'll see, but yeah, Purdue should have a solid stable.
Hopefully, the offensive line keeps developing. I mean, they've improved as the season went on, but yeah.
Yeah, we've been covering football, but we got a question from Twitter here from P Dunn 134. I keep losing connection, but what are your early predictions for the Crossroads? We never did give a prediction.
We didn't. Yeah. Basketball will be played. That's my prediction.
I'm gonna abstain. I want to hear what you guys have to say, though.
Well, are we talking about like the full Crossroads, or are we talking just the game that actually matters?
Let's just the varsity game, the game that matters. Game played. You know what? I hate this event. My hatred of this event, for some reason, is telling me Purdue's going to win this thing on Saturday, 74-70.
Oh man!
And I'm going to be pacing the floor because it's going to come down to free throws.
I will say this: there's no way both teams score 70.
Thanks for just crapping on my prediction, Andrew.
You're welcome. That's why I'm.
Yeah, but you're right. Purdue's not.
It's gonna be low scoring. I mean, Butler has been pretty good.
Reggie Miller
time.
Okay. Just because Purdue's had a week of two games already, and Butler's coming off of finals, I think Purdue gets off to a better start. I think Purdue gets up 15. Butler brings it back, but then if not ties it, really gets my heart rate going. Purdue wins 65-63 on a missed Butler shot at the buzzer, just to really give me a heart attack.
Yeah, if Purdue wins this game, that's the third-ranked team they've beat already. Yeah, I know how frustrated we all are kind of with how the season's been going so far, but that would be a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, on a neutral site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Andrew's out for the prediction, which is fine. But since this is the last breakdown of 2019, why don't we predict the Big Ten bowl games real quick?
All right.
So we can do that. The Big Ten's got quite a few, starting with the Pinstripe Bowl, 6-6 Michigan State against 8-4 Wake Forest.
Michigan State's a 3.5-point favorite. Man, I think Michigan State had a really crappy recruiting class this year too.
Oh, it was terrible. It was 12th in the conference for them. That's
Yikes. And what did D'Antonio say in his press conference?
He don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Well, dude, if he comes back, which it looks like, I think next year's his last year. That dude looks like he's not having fun. Their mojo is kind of gone.
He never looks like he was having fun.
Yeah, I know.
He never has.
Give me Michigan State. I don't know. I feel like their defense is good enough.
Big Ten's won 4 of the last 5 Pinstripe Bowls. I'll take Michigan State too. I don't know.
No, I'm going to go Wake Forest.
All right. Be that guy.
Yeah.
You got the Holiday Bowl, number 22 ranked USC against number 16 ranked Iowa. Iowa's a 2-point favorite.
I'm going to go Iowa.
Iowa covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take USC. I'll be that guy on this one. I think, Clay Helton's coming back. I think they have a little more talent than Iowa, but Iowa's a really really well-coached team. I don't know if Epeneza's playing in the bowl game or not. I haven't heard. Always got to take.
Now I want to change my pick.
I have no idea. Maybe he is. I just haven't seen anything. So, I got the Cotton Bowl, number 17th ranked Memphis, who Purdue plays next year, and 10th ranked Penn State. Penn State's a 7-point favorite. Memphis interim coach that is now their new coach, Silverfield, is coaching the game. Norvell and the defensive coordinator left to go to Florida State.
Has there been any big Penn State players say they're not playing in this game?
Not that I've seen, but
if that's the case, I think Penn State rolls in this game.
I think it's similar to Florida against Cincinnati in Tim Tebow's last game when Brian Kelly left to go to Notre Dame. Tony Pike led an undefeated Cincinnati team in the Sugar Bowl, and Florida just wiped the floor with them.
Yeah.
So, the Fiesta Bowl, number 3, Clemson. Number 2, Ohio State. Clemson's a 2-point favorite.
Man. I've gone back and forth on this one so many times.
Tough one.
I mean, it's Ohio State. I know Clemson's really Trevor Lawrence is playing much better. Yeah.
I'll break the ice. Even though I've been praising Ohio State all year on here, I think Clemson beats them. I think Lawrence, a lot of people aren't talking about him. I think he comes out and says, hey, world, I'm still pretty darn good. So.
Yeah, he struggled to start the season, but, he kind of turned it on. Yeah.
I'm going to pick Ohio State just so I can see Joe Burrow just destroy Ohio State in the national championship.
That'd be a cool storyline.
Yeah.
The Red Box Bowl. You got 6-6 Illinois against 7-5 California. California is a 7-point favorite.
Surprised they're a 7-point favorite. I know nothing about Cal.
They are an outlier when it comes to the Pac-12. They don't score a lot of points.
I think it's going to be a bit depending on if Illinois can force turnovers. If Illinois can't force turnovers, if they can't force turnovers, I think they're getting their doors blown off. But I'm going to pick Illinois in the upset. I think they're going to be fired up for this one.
I agree 100%. I like Illinois because I think they want to be there more. I don't know. I mean, Cal hasn't been in a bowl in a little while, but I think this is big for Illinois. It's big for their program. First bowl game they've been to since 2014. So picking the lineup.
I'm going Cal.
Interesting matchup here, Citrus Bowl. This is a game literally a lot of guys I think are sitting out.
Yeah.
Number 14 Michigan against number 13 Alabama. Alabama's a 7-point favorite. Last time these two teams played in a bowl game, Tom Brady threw for 4 touchdowns and 350 yards back in 2000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Alabama. I don't know what the spread is, but Alabama covers.
7. It's 7.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many players are not playing in this game?
I know
I don't think it matters.
Judy's playing for Alabama, but I don't know. I think a lot of guys are probably sitting down on both sides.
I think Alabama wins. I'm gonna say they don't cover though.
I think Alabama wins I'll say they cover. They win by about 10. This would be huge for Harbaugh. He'd finally could say he beat Saban. He beat a big time program,
and that's why I want Alabama to dominate.
I mean, Michigan, 9 wins. That's probably the season a lot of their fans kind of thought they would have. Alabama, this is disappointing. You're not even in a New Year's Six bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I am shocked. I mean, I knew they weren't in the playoff, and that's all I care. That's all I really knew. But when was the last time Alabama wasn't in the top 5, let alone the top 10?
5 years since they weren't in the top 5.
Exactly, and then top 10. Has it been since before Saban?
Saban's first year they weren't very good, but I don't know besides that.
Top 5. Seeding at 13 looks very strange.
Oh yeah, Got the Outback Bowl, number 18 Minnesota. Good year for them, 10-2 against number 12 Auburn, who's 9-3. Auburn is a 7.5-point favorite.
I hope Auburn covers and that score that cover or that line is multiplied by 10.
Yeah, I would love to see Auburn repeat performance of the bowl game.
Yep. Go Auburn all the way. All the way.
More damn Eagle.
Keep sinking that boat. Rose Bowl, granddaddy of them all, as it's known. Number 8, Wisconsin, who are the West champs, 10-3 against Pac-12 champion, 11-2, number 6th ranked Oregon. And Wisconsin's a 2.5-point favorite.
Is Jonathan Taylor playing this game? Do we know?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Good for him. Man.
I'm going Oregon.
Going Wisconsin.
I'm going Wisconsin.
Andrew in Oregon.
I think their defense is. I mean,
they're good.
Yeah, I think their defense is gonna be enough, and then Jonathan Taylor's just ridiculous.
I'm ready to see different teams in a Rose Bowl. These two teams are always in the Rose Bowl.
Same.
And then we got the Gator Bowl on January 2nd. You got 7-5 Tennessee against 8-4 Indiana. Tennessee is a 1.5-point favorite.
Oh my gosh.
Go Big Orange, Vol Nation, baby.
Yeah, gross.
I'm taking Tennessee. I'm hoping they're too fast and athletic. And the Music City Bowl happens down at the Gator Bowl.
Yep.
From last year.
Yep.
Yep.
And then one more game outside the Big Ten. Iowa State and number 15 Notre Dame in the Camping World Bowl. Notre Dame's only a 3.5-point favorite. I thought this would be at least 7 points.
Yeah.
Really surprised by that.
I think Notre Dame wins pretty handily.
Yeah.
I do too. And then let's go with the Peach Bowl, number 4, Oklahoma, number 1, LSU. LSU is a 13.5-point favorite.
Man, I was really hoping Hurts did not have to play LSU. I really want to see a Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow national championship, but I think LSU.
You just said you want to see Joe Burrow
because of the snare that's played out right now. If it wasn't for that,
he has been saying on the podcast all year he wanted Hurts to beat Alabama.
So. I want Hurts to beat Alabama, but Alabama.
Yeah, I know. They blew that.
Yeah, I think LSU blows their doors off. I don't know.
I think LSU wins. I think it's a little closer.
I think LSU wins by 20.
Yeah.
Really?
I just think they've played with fire too much this year. They've gotten lucky. They've led some great comebacks, but I don't think they're going to be able to score with LSU.
Then I got LSU. I got LSU over Clemson in the championship.
Yeah, LSU over Ohio State.
LSU over Ohio State, yeah.
We all agree on LSU. So we're about to wrap this thing up here in a few minutes, but I want to get your guys' opinions since it is the last Boiler Breakdown, as I've stated like 500 times, of 2019, but we will be back early in 2020, the new episode. Favorite and least favorite Purdue sports memories from 2019?
Can they be the exact same game?
Yeah, or you can let's 2 favorite memories, 2 least favorite memories.
Oh man,
2. Damn, all right. I don't have that many favorites. It's been kind of wait, hold on. 2019 goes back to including 2018, 2019 basketball season, correct?
I mean, 2019 for basketball was pretty cool.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I was thinking
January 1st, 2019.
Yes. Okay. All right. Never mind. I was thinking like 2019 football season and like the basketball season.
No. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Probably my 2 favorite memories would be beating Ohio State. Nope, that was 2018. Dang it.
There's no good football memories this year.
There's not. There's not.
I mean, to have a walk-on quarterback having the ball snapped to him by a walk-on center back weeks lead first quarter game-winning drives was kind of.
That was cool. Yeah, it was cool. But the Nebraska game was fun.
Yeah.
Frost can suck it.
Let me see here.
Well, I will start off. My favorite moment of 2019 was the Sweet 16 game.
Yeah, that's mine.
Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And my other favorite, oh man,
was the Michigan State game. Was that game in 2018 or was that 2019? When we played Michigan State at Mackey.
That was this past year. We lost to them up there in 2018 and then beat them at home.
Okay, I can remember if that game was played before the new year or not. The game at Mackey.
Nope, that was.
We played Maryland. We played Maryland. Yeah.
And sweeping Indiana in basketball. My second favorite.
Yeah.
Arms tipping. I get arms at them.
I think beating them at Mackey was cool just because that was before they kind of went downhill, and we got to see Romeo put up a solid 4 points. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Least favorite, obviously. I mean,
my least favorite's Elite Eight. I don't even care what happened up to those final seconds. The final seconds ruined everything in overtime.
Yeah,
but it was so much fun. Klein and Carson just going unconscious.
I can honestly say I was not enjoying. I mean, it was hard to enjoy the game while being there just because it was so back and forth. It was like, man, okay, we scored
off the whole game.
See,
we're tied. We're up 1. Okay, get back on defense. Like here comes Kyle Guy hitting another 3 in the second half. Like it was. I wish I want to go back and watch it just so I can appreciate the performance.
Watching on TV, I was more of like, even if Purdue was down, it's all right. Klein's going to hit like an NBA range fadeaway here on the way back.
So I had more fun in a game like when we played Michigan and Mackey a couple years ago, where it was just the highest scoring game I think I've ever seen in my life. Like that was really fun, but just because of the stakes this game was at, like I was at the mall today, and I saw there was a picture in one of those like kiosks in the middle, and one of them was actually a picture of Carson shooting a shot, and it was against Virginia. And I was like, man, I need to go back and watch just to appreciate what we witnessed. But it's like, man, that also sucked so
I don't
hard.
think I'll ever do it. Maybe if Purdue wins national championship someday. Man, I think about that game on a weekly basis, almost daily basis. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
Free throw from Grady Eifert's rebound to everything in regulation. Overtime, my mind is a little spotty, to be honest.
I don't remember overtime. I remember the feeling when Grady grabbed that rebound.
I'll never forget that feeling.
Yeah. And then it just as soon as Diakite shot that shot, I was opposite of the arena, but I was right in line with the basket. I was like, oh my God, that's it.
I thought he short-armed it from my angle.
Nope. It looked
the other side.
Tanner, did you say you think about that daily? I just want
Almost daily. Yes, I have no life. Yes, I am. Yes. When we live in this damn state that we live in, that a bunch of hicks talk about white banners that have dust on them, that a lot of our friends weren't even around for, and the Golden Domers talk about the 1980s. Yeah, I think about it all the time.
Well, you just need some new friends, Tanner.
Yeah. And my other least favorite moment was the Minnesota play where Sindelar and Moore went down. Same.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was the
other least favorite moment of 2015.
Yeah, that one and losing the bucket this year and having it's a combination of
Nevada sucked
injuries. Yeah, but I'm kind of over that one. It was more so just the fact that Purdue had so many chances, and then it comes with IU now having like historically like their best season like ever.
Yep. Pretty much. 2019 can end now for Purdue sports soon. Gladly.
Yeah.
Hit the reset button 2020.
Yep.
Hire a defense coordinator, please. Soon.
Yeah. Soon.
So, any other closing thoughts?
Just win in Indy. That's all I care about.
Yeah, pretty well put. Well, let's say win in Indianapolis and then beat Central Michigan.
Yes, you don't want to slip
by the time our next episode, we'll have played them too.
Yeah, but that's Big Ten season, which is drunk right now.
We start off with Minnesota, then it gets stupid hard.
Oh, I forgot about how hard that schedule was. I showed on TV the other day. I was like, oh my God, that is a murderer's row.
I'm upset that Northwestern couldn't take care of business.
They almost did. They played.
I know. But to make everybody in the conference 1-1, that would have been incredible. It would have been awesome. It's like, yep, start fresh. January, let's go.
College basketball is weird this year.
Oh,
There's no dominant team. It's gonna be fun, hopefully.
Yeah, until the big boys come to play in March, and then
never know.
Yep. So, well, guys, it's been fun so far doing the breakdown with you in 2019, and big things to come in 2020.
Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all Boilermaker Nation out there and everybody that listens and watches the Boiler Breakdown. We appreciate each and every one of you. So, with that said, we'll see you in 2020. Boiler up and hammer down.
Boiler up.